$504. Plan expenses were also paid out, a total of $13,279. Of that, $5,000 for legal, $4,200 for actuarial services, and then about $4,000 for the advisory fees. The ending balance at June 30th was $9,328,608. And then I also have, as of July 31st, the plan balance was $9,351,228. $9,351,228. Overall, the plan performance for the quarter was 4.79%, so had another good quarter. The fiscal year-to-date performance is over 20% earnings. Wow. The investment allocation appears to be on track for the 60/40 plan. And if you have any other questions, I can write them down and send them to Jeremy.
So this one is just a presentation to us. Do you guys have any questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Next item is review the administrative budget for the quarter ending June 30th.
Okay, this is presented as a courtesy to the board. This is not required by statute, but it is presented just to show you the progress of the budget throughout the year. As of June 30th, everything is on track. We have about 92% of the expenses, about 77% of the administrative expenses paid out. We did pay a few more items in July, which will be reflected on the next statement. So if you have any other questions about this, let me know.
On the current budget? Next item is adoption of the administrative budget for fiscal year 21-22.
Okay, this is a statutory requirement that the plan sets an administrative budget. So we've prepared the attached budget and for your approval. We bumped up a couple of the line items a little bit. One of them would be the administrator fees, the plan administration fees, and then also the audit and accounting fees. There's a considerable amount of GASB requirements that may come into play, so we want to make sure we had funding for that. Otherwise, everything else has pretty much remained the same.
So, trustees, if you guys recall, this is one of some several disclosures that were instituted by the Florida legislature a few years ago, and so it's essentially the thought being that we would adopt this proposed budget and identify to the public this is what we believe the pension plan believes it's going to spend, and then we bookend that with the final accounting, which is another required disclosure that we file with our annual report, and that would essentially reflect this is what we actually spent. So the public would have kind of both ends of the spectrum. I think obviously we want to be responsible and diligent, but at the same time it's not something where we want to get too far into the weeds or too concerned if we do exceed the budget. Really the only consequence is that we would have to reconvene and adopt a revised budget. So and then file it with the city, obviously. But again, we want to be responsible, we want to be thorough, but I don't think we need to fret too much in terms of what happens if something unexpected happens and we go over budget. That's exactly what will likely happen, law of averages, right? And so it's just a matter of adopting a revised budget accordingly.
Okay. Just a quick note on the one we just looked at. The adopted budget for the administrative is 17, and in this one, the budget for 2021 administrative 18. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's just a typo. Let me see. The year-to-date one, 17, and this one shows 18.
Yeah, that's right.
You are correct.
Which one is correct?
The typo?
Okay.
I didn't have any other thoughts. I think the bump up in those little areas, I think is probably a good idea. You guys have any questions or discussion?
Sounds reasonable.
So we see a motion to approve the proposed budget for fiscal year 21-22 as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, Brian asked that we wait on number 5 and number 7,
Okay,
and then we'll discuss those when he arrives.
okay, sure. So we'll move on to number 6, ratifying the invoice for the FPPTA pension trustee training.
Okay. Okay, Madam Chair, our new pension board member, Paula Saraki, attended an online session through the FPPTA for new trustee training.
Okay.
So in order to facilitate that, we went ahead and paid it through the fund, and she was able to complete the training.
Right, yep.
So we don't need the board's approval to pay it. We've already paid it. We just need the board to ratify it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to ratify the payment that was made for the training.
I'll go ahead and second that motion.
Um,
Because we don't want Paula's second her own.
Any discussion? Is it interesting, overwhelming?
It was sort of overwhelming, yeah. It was actually very well done.
Okay, good.
It was, kept my interest. It wasn't, too boring or anything, but I know I have a lot to learn. There's a lot to absorb,
There is,
but it was
yeah.
interesting.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we'll move on to number 8.
Okay. I've passed out an invoice with number 8 written on it.
Okay,
The correct attachment did not get in the agenda, so this is the correct attachment. This is an invoice for actuarial services for calculating the retirement benefit that is in item number 7. So the actuary charged $375 for this actuarial work, which I feel is very reasonable.
Mhm.
And we will need, this is not paid yet, so we will need the board's approval to pay this invoice.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and pay the $375 allocated for the,
I'll second it.
okay. Any further discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, approved. Number 9, discuss receipt of insurance premium tax payment.
Okay, Madam Chair, this is presented just to inform the board that we did receive a premium tax payment right on schedule in August for $74,977.38. This is the first distribution. There is a second distribution that's scheduled for October. Sometimes we receive something from it. More than likely, we do not. I think last year we received a very small amount.
Small amount, yeah.
Yeah, $1,500 or so. So this is about what we expected.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay. This is just the presentation, so no,
Yes.
no action. Number 10 is review the approved Division of Retirement annual report for fiscal year 9/30 of 20.
Okay. Also included in this is, with the cover letter, is a letter that we received from the state of Florida, letting us know that the state has accepted our annual report. They also mentioned that they were making some recommendations regarding the interest rate assumption for the valuation report,
Okay.
which will, hopefully be approved when Brian arrives at this meeting. This is not something that the board has to do. I did talk to the actuary about this, and he indicated that he usually goes with the plan administrator's recommendations. They have a team of investment advisors that are, highly skilled, that make recommendations for the long-term performance assumptions for the plan. So my recommendation to the board would be to wait, and maybe by December we'll have an idea of what that recommendation will be. But I
Okay.
just wanted to throw that out there because we did receive this letter from the state, and it will be discussed later on.
Okay.
So this is basically for informational purposes. The next page is the email we received indicating that the annual report was approved. And basically what they do is they review all the information submitted in the report, and then they make sure it ties out to our annual financial report, which was presented by the auditor at last meeting.
Okay.
So it's very comprehensive, a lot of ticking and tying, and everything looks good. So if you have any questions.
I just had one question. Why was Doug Beavis copied on it?
Let's see, where's that?
Thursday.
On the email?
Yeah.
They still have his email. Usually it's the mayor, so we'll let them know that
Oh,
they
okay.
need to change the email address.
I was curious. Yeah, gotcha.
Good catch.
Yeah.
And just to kind of touch on that, so the state has been sending that letter essentially about potentially lowering the investment assumption return to, I think every single one of my clients has received it. So maybe for our next meeting, if we could talk to the League of Cities and potentially have the actuary attend by phone just for a brief discussion so that we can, kind of garner his input or her input, and then the board can make a decision one way or the other, right? But I think part of the analysis and part of the discussion would or should include, obviously what the cost impact would be to lower the investment assumption. As you guys know, by lowering the investment assumption, essentially by expecting less money to come in, that's automatically going to increase the required contributions for the plan from the city specifically. So, I think just to kind of make sure that the board has all the information available, it would be helpful if we could have the actuary. I don't know if it's Chuck Carr or if it's somebody else from Southern Actuarial, but just have them on the line so that they can maybe go over any recommendations that they may have to lower the assumption or keep the assumption, and then also provide at least an impact. So if the board were to say, well, what happens if we lower our assumption to 6.75%, right? And that way the board can make an educated decision and still incorporate that as part of the next valuation report if it decides to change it.
Yeah, essentially the plan has done well in the past and, continues to do well, especially in this environment. So,
Yeah, so I was gonna suggest the same thing, that at least maybe next time when Jeremy's here, and if we can have the actuarial, we could discuss that, invite them to discuss that recommendation from the state.
yeah, the plans seem to have a range between 6.5 and somewhere as high as 8.5. So there's a pretty broad range.
Yeah, and yeah,
I think the majority of my plans are. I think I probably have a handful that are in the 6% range, but the majority are right around that 7. I think is probably would be the median, and so again we could probably leave it the same, but if we were thinking about lowering it, I think it'd be helpful to have the actuary's input.
Right.
so we just need a motion to approve the report, the annual report from the Division of Retirement.
Well, I think
No?
I think this is just reflecting that the report was accepted, right?
Yes.
Oh, I thought the next.
Yeah,
one
so
was-
I don't think we need to take any action on it. I think it's just more informational, file and receive.
Okay. So next item is number 11, the excused absence for Kenny Cerrone, which he did contact our city clerk prior to the meeting to let him know that he was not going to be able to make it because he's on duty today.
And this is just in keeping with the policy that the board adopted for attendance. So.
But I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the excused absence.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. So that just leaves 5 and 7.
Okay. Should we proceed with the attorney update and the
Yes,
educational?
I'm sorry, yes, we can do that.
activities?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So just a couple housekeeping items really to go over with you, nothing really actionable for the board. And I do want to first apologize, Cindy, I know that you've reached out to me and I need to get back to you on working for the trustee manuals. So I do apologize for that, and I'll see if I can get you something in the next day or two.
Okay,
So you
great.
guys can take a look at it, okay?
Thank you.
I just, in terms of, I know at the last meeting or maybe the meeting before that, we had discussed the state's allocation of about $200 million to be paid to essential first responders, so police officers, firefighters, paramedics, and EMTs, in the form of a $1,000 bonus check. So this was allocated as part of the budget. It was adopted. It's my understanding that the Department of Economic Opportunity, which was charged with kind of administering this whole process and issuing the funds, they did send out the necessary forms to each employer. The employers were to have delivered those back to the DEO by the end of July, I believe, and the checks were cut and sent out as of August. I believe that they are still being sent out in some places. So I did just want to just check in with you and make sure that everybody received their payment. If they have not, and you want to maybe grab me offline, I'm happy to help and see if I can reach out to the state and see where the disconnect is. But just in terms of an update, those checks have been mailed out and issued. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys all got them, or everybody got them that was supposed to have gotten them.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, good.
Everybody's received it.
And it was $1,000 net, so it's nice that it's a nice benefit. There were no withholdings, state taxes or federal taxes on that. So
Yes, it's appreciated.
in terms of educational opportunities coming up, I know it's the next item on the agenda, but the FPPTA is having their trustee school. That's going to be October 3rd through the 6th. And that's in Ponte Vedra, so up just kind of close to Jacksonville, at the Sawgrass Marriott. So if anybody is able to attend and interested, as of now, it's a live conference. They are offering a virtual platform as well, but that's a good chance to get some training and some education. And then also the state, the Division of Retirement, has a school twice a year. Last year, obviously, they canceled it because of COVID, but they will have their trustee school in Orlando, and that is going to be November 3rd through the 6th at the Renaissance Hotel in Orlando. And the first day is exclusively for new trustees, and then there's another day and a half. So that's another great opportunity if anybody's interested. There's no registration fee for that one, so that's a nice plus. Obviously, hotel or car mileage, anything like that would be reimbursed by the plan, but it's convenient in the sense that there is no registration fee. So if people want to kind of jump in and jump out, it's a lot easier to do. And I think the only charge is if you want paper copies of all the materials and the handouts. Then there's I don't know if it's $75 or $150 or something like that. But otherwise, if you can just download all the materials to your tablet or your laptop or whatever the case may be. So and really that's all I had for my report.
Okay. I have one more thing for the educational opportunities. Jeremy Langley did let me know that he will be sending emails out to the board members. There is a online training coming up October 5th with Asset Consulting Group. So look out for that, and let's see. Should be a good training. I'm not sure how long it will be, but more details to follow.
Okay. I did do one of his a while back, and I think it might have been an hour. So it was
Okay.
a good quick training.
I have a question about that. For the first day, the one on November 3rd, that first day of trustee training, do you know what time that starts in the morning? Is it in the morning or?
It typically starts, I want to say in the past, it's usually 8 or 8:30.
Okay.
I think they'll usually have a breakfast from, 7:30 to 8:30 or 7 to 8, something like that. But I'm almost certain it's, they haven't released the agenda yet, and they've reached out. I know I typically speak at it. I think I'm going to be speaking at it again this year, but they have not, they haven't finalized the agenda yet. So, but typically it's right around 8 or 8:30.
So would I be able to get a hotel the night before, or no?
Pardon me?
Would I be able to get a hotel the night before it, on Tuesday night? So,
I think we've done that in the past.
Yeah.
actually.
Yes, I think that would be fine.
Okay, very good. Actually, my husband's gonna be in Orlando that same weekend for a thing, but his doesn't start until Thursday.
Okay.
So I was thinking
okay.
if we would drive over together that way, we wouldn't have, we could, I wouldn't have, you wouldn't have to pay me for mileage.
Okay.
And then I could just get the hotel one night and then stay at his hotel the other nights. So, because I checked, it's about a half an hour from his hotel, so
Okay.
just that first day, I was wondering if I could,
Okay, I'll forward the travel information to you, Paula.
okay,
And we have a travel expense reimbursement form as well.
okay, great. Because I would really like to attend that first one for the trustee
Okay.
training.
Yeah, the first day is pretty good for new trustees.
Yeah, that's what it said, it's for new people, so I figured that'd be good. Great.
And what should we do
As far as,
for Brian?
oh, okay, so what I know is, I think he had definite questions about number 5, and he just wanted to be part of the process on number 7, so maybe going with number 7.
Okay. So we could talk about ratifying the retirement benefit payments and share plan distribution for vested employee.
Okay, we had an employee retire after many years of service. Let's see. He was fully vested in the plan. The board just approved an invoice for the actuary to calculate the retirement benefits. So it comes out to $2,054.46 a month. There is also a share plan benefit that is included, and that is for a one-time payment of $51,496.68. So that is already in process. We will need the board to ratify that.
So Pedro, this is our first full retiree. We've had, one disability.
Disability, right.
So is there a process to this, or is this pretty much?
No, I think this is great. I think so. Exactly as was just stated, right? So this is, excuse me, this is already being in the process. This is pursuant to your plan. So it's really just the board ratifying the payment or the expenditure, the benefit payments. But this is it. This is the process.
That's what it's for.
It's a milestone. We should frame this one.
Right. Okay. We see a motion to approve or to ratify the retirement benefit payments as presented.
I'll make a motion to ratify it.
I'll second. Okay. Any discussion or questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Approved. Any word
And what
from Brian?
was it?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna say, I know that I guess, was it number 5 that we were holding off on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do except continue on.
And
Is he on the way?
yeah, he said he might be 15 minutes late, but now we're 30 after.
Right.
Did
Is
he
this something
share?
that we have to fill out?
Was this item just to consider, just to whether or not we're gonna order the report?
It was to.
We're
order the
not
report-
going over the report, right?
No.
No.
Right. I don't know, maybe we wanna call him and just kind of patch him in, or maybe he can address the board with his questions. I don't know.
Did he shake?
Know that we're allowed to patch in board members, because I'm not even sure how that works with the plan, but I know that council doesn't allow that for the advisory boards. I'm not even sure how that works.
So, and I apologize, so we can patch him in, you know, he wouldn't be able to vote, right, on anything. If there's a motion or anything like that, he would not be able to vote on the motion. But I don't know if we're really taking any action. Well, I guess we are, we're gonna be potentially ordering the report, so he can essentially say, I would vote not to order the report, and then the board can either, you know, agree or not agree, but that would be, I think that would be the extent of his participation.
Right.
And did he share any of his questions with you, Anne?
No, he was just concerned that you would miss those items, and he's trying really hard to get here in time from picking up or dropping off his son. And so it just has to do with car issues from school. I don't know. Good, do you have his number?
I didn't hear you.
Take a 5-minute recess to call him. Oh, I have a text. Not from him. Was his contact information in that email that he sent?
And he just called me, so I don't,
Oh, I thought
you know, maybe it's on my tel. He sent.
I have his office number, but I don't,
probably not
Wouldn't
as
do us much good.
Yeah.
Almost, well, maybe, let me try this.
is this something we can discuss with him later to answer any questions?
Potentially. Are we taking any action on it? What is it, number 5? Consider order. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we would have to.
Yeah, to approve ordering the report for not to exceed amount.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do.
I thought I had his contact. Do not have his phone number.
Is there a cell number? Yeah, I just don't have the roster in front of me.
Oh,
All right. you
it's
can
on our
go ahead.
website.
Should be. Well, I don't know about
Oh,
contacts
his
on
phone
that.
number.
Was this question because there was no PDF attached in the document, in the packet?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what this is, and kind of what we order.
That took a while. What's going on?
Oh, there he is.
This is him right now.
There he is, right there. Welcome.
Is that you, Colin?
Yeah.
Yes.
I apologize. I'm so very, very sorry. It was Garrett's fault.
Okay, we stopped at item number 5 for you. We did the rest of the agenda and came back to 5.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
So number 5, consider order of the annual valuation report for 10/1/21.
Okay, Madam Chair, I passed out a form that will need to be signed if approved by the board. We did not have this in time for the agenda packet. So basically, Southern Actuarial Services has prepared the evaluation report for many years. We have quoted the service in the past and found that other firms came in much more expensive than the Southern Actuarial Services.
Okay.
Last year, we paid $4,200 for the report, mostly due to the additional work required for the GASB 67, 68 requirements, which are extensive. We expect the fee will increase this year, possibly up to around $5,200, thereabout. So if approved, if the board is okay with this, I would like to see if you could approve a not-to-exceed amount, so that way when we get the proposal in, which should be shortly, we can go ahead and proceed and get our information submitted, soon after September 30th, so we can get on the list to get our evaluation report done.
Right. And that was when we increased, okay, actuary in the budget.
Yes, it's within the budget.
Okay. Any questions before we make a motion?
Yeah, what's the not to exceed to amount?
I would say 6,000 just to be safe.
And this is for the standalone?
No, this is for the evaluation report,
Okay.
including all the GASB 67, 68
Got it.
requirements that have to be included in the report.
And last year's was 4,200?
And I will say that is, that's a very reasonable fee for the evaluation report.
Yeah, I agree.
So we just need a motion to open up.
And the, not to exceed $6,000 above last year's, or
A total
Total.
of 6,000.
Total.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the not to exceed amount of $6,000.
Oh, okay.
Second.
Second?
So just for, I'm sorry, I think there was a second. So just for discussion purposes, it's the motion is to approve requesting or ordering the report, the evaluation report for 2021 with a not to exceed of $6,000.
Okay,
Is that correct?
That's correct.
thank you.
Any discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay, approved. I think that
Now,
was,
just for purposes of kind of following up on the discussion we were having, earlier with respect to the annual report and potentially lowering the investment assumption, I would, whoever's gonna, I guess let the actuary know that we need the report. If we could let them know that we're gonna be discussing the investment assumption at the December meeting. So, obviously, we just want to let them know so that, I don't think they're going to start the report before then, but I would hate for them to kind of, our wires to get crossed and they produce the report and then we say, oh, by the way, we want to change one of the assumptions. So it seems like we'll be fine, because I think I'm reading here it's due by middle of November, and I think we meet a couple weeks later, so they're not going to do it. But just in case, whenever we reach out to let them know to maybe attend the meeting, just similarly let them know that we're obviously going to be discussing this assumption, and we're not going to need the final report until our February meeting.
okay. Any other items or questions, discussion before we adjourn?
I do have one, and I'm sorry, I apologize. It has nothing to do with the board, it has to do with the firefighters. My brother's brother-in-law, we just did his funeral. I was down there with you this past weekend. Pedro.
Oh, yeah.
31-year captain with the Miami Fire Department, and I've got to experience the last call with.
What was his name?
Art Alonzo.
Oh, yeah. He's your brother-in-law?
My brother's brother-in-law. Yeah, they've been married for 35 years, or were.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
So-
We know him. We knew him well. Yeah, that's great. Man,
I hope I
sorry to hear
don't
that.
have to deal with that with any of you guys.
I hope as well. Thank you. Okay. Need a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Pedro.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all.
Thank you, Pedro.
I appreciate it. Everybody stay safe.
No, it was an 11-year cancer battle that, it's been a bad 4-week string. It was my third one this month.
Oh, gosh. Just some upcoming school opportunities. League of Cities can have some virtual.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
thanks.
getting the emails on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Extra copy.
And I got there an hour early before school got out. I was 40th car
Where's that?
at Eastlake High School. They don't have the bus drivers
Oh, God.
Ed, wow.
because they're short.
They're just short.
So all the parents are going there, and I figured,
That would be enough.
yeah.
Well, I think, the Starbucks by Curlew has been closed for over a week, like almost 2 weeks. And I think it's because they closed it down temporarily because they don't have the employees.
Once they called in the National Guard to drive school buses because they didn't have enough employees.
I want to say it was either Massachusetts or New Hampshire.
It's funny, is Dan has his CDL license, and he keeps it active just in case, because he says, maybe someday I'll be a bus driver, so maybe the.
Just side gig.
How's the time?
Just that one, right? Wow.
Do we all have to sign or just her?
Just her.
Thank God.
And then we did go over some educational opportunities.
just
If you're
showing.
interested, there's the Division of Retirement in November, and then the FPPTA is in October. Jeremy from the league will be sending out a invitation for a webinar, so that'll be coming to all the board members.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I gotta constantly check my spam because it keeps
I
getting
know,
locked
I
in
know.
there.
Is there anything else you
And
wanna-
then the retirement thing was just like pretty much a rubber stamp. And Pedro said it was a Mazda and it could be framed.